Singing B. Arthur Nate. Hey, kids!
Love it. Love it.
Welcome back to the Maximum Effort Podcast. I know you guys probably forgot because, hell, we forget half the time. I'm Dave.
I'm still Adam.
Still?
Yeah.
Have you thought of another identity yet?
You know, I filled out the paperwork and I had it taken down to the office. I don't know. I didn't feel like introducing myself as someone else and changing everything on our website. So
would you really have a hard time signing Mick Foley?
I would. Can't get the F to curve into the O. I just can't do it.
Is that what
it's the problem.
Yeah, because nobody learns cursive anymore.
That's right.
They just text it out now.
Basically.
Yeah, I wait for the future.
It's a sad world we live in.
It really is. Did you see that thing in the Butt Chuggers group? Mock me. Or
yes.
What was it? Roast me?
Yeah, I saw the roast me.
Did you read what I put?
Yeah. The fuck are you texting and driving? Or taking a selfie and driving?
Pull up your pants.
That's what he gets.
That's what he gets. That's what he deserves.
Chode.
God. So you just want to get a couple meat hooks, hook him up to a crane, and lift him up by his spacers and his earlobes.
Just give
Not
him
that there's anything wrong with that.
No.
But in his case, necessary evil.
Yeah, death before chocolate.
Yeah, but not before chocolate rain.
No. Days on day. Chocolate rain. You got to move away from the mic when you sing so they don't hear you breathe.
That's right. Life lessons.
Oh, man. Thank God I learned that from that guy.
Just a wealth of knowledge, man.
Basically.
A wealth of knowledge. What's been going on this week?
Psh, no. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. I lead a sad, boring life. Like, this is basically what I look forward to every week.
Pretty much, yeah.
That and going to Costco and buying 55-gallon drums of lube.
Oh my God. To get ready for your work weekend.
That's right, buddy.
Oh, God. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's understandable.
It's all right. The guy with the rubber glove was surprisingly gentle.
Yeah. So yours truly has a birthday coming up on Thursday.
Oh, that's right. You do.
Yeah, we're going to call this my birthday episode.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so if anybody wants to send him happy birthday shenanigans or,
tomfoolery.
Shenanigans, obscenities, tomfooleries.
I'll take them all.
The Maximum Effort Podcast at gmail.com.
Please.
Find us on the socials.
Yeah.
Instagram, it's at the Maximum Effort Podcast. Facebook, same thing. Twitter, you want to tell them the Twitter one?
Yeah, Twitter, we are effing Redux. EFFINGREDUX.
Have we figured out the right pronunciation of that? Because I've been saying Reduff since I was a while. Ow!
I think you're just getting too fancy with it. Did you just break all the things?
No, my dog tried to get me to reverse judo chop the desk with her nose. So it's like, now I've got a broken tibia.
Good call.
No, wait, that's your leg.
Yeah.
Radius. Yeah, that's the one.
Hand bones connected to the...
Oh, man.
Let's go back to kindergarten here.
Yeah, let's go on back. See, our kindergarten was way different than your kindergarten. So.
Yeah?
No, I mean the people listening to this.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
The 3 12-year-old hipsters that are bitching about coffee.
I took naps before nap time was fun.
They still give you that look when you ask them for coffee-flavored coffee.
They do.
I do.
Basically.
Yeah. By the way, we're videoing this. We're doing an experiment. We're trying to get some video going so we can have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, we have the YouTube channel. It is set up.
Well, yeah. Oh, it is.
Yeah, our content is a big fat zero, though.
Well, yeah, because
I was going to just record the audio and then post it as video.
Mm-hmm. Which you can do.
Which you can do, but YouTube is
at that point just
listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I read a lot of articles on why you shouldn't do that, and I kind of agreed with most of them.
Well, yeah, it is a visual medium.
Exactly. And I always hate those videos where it's just a static image of some guy talking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
Now, granted, if I want to hear a song.
That's different.
I don't, I don't have time for the Spotify app on my phone because you have to pay to turn the shuffle off and actually play what you want to play.
Right. Or watch that quick 30-second video.
Sons of bitches.
Get you coming, get you going.
Oh, the ads now. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yeah. In case you haven't guessed, kids, we are angry old men.
Yeah, we're bitter and upset.
Just bitter, angry, curmudgeoned even. Get off my lawn.
Yes. Damn whippersnappers.
These little imps and their shenanigans.
That's right.
Did we get any love this week from anybody on the interwebs?
We did actually. We got we got some iTunes love, buddy.
Hey. Shout out Ralph Garman.
There you go, Ralphie.
We got to tag him we got to start tagging those people in these posts.
I think we need to
everything holy.
We need to become 1-star generals first.
Maybe we can just be honorary 1-star generals if we tag him and give him shout outs and stuff.
I'd take a half-star general.
I'll take one of the points. I'm not picky. Ralph.
Yeah. Hashtag Ralph Garman.
Hashtag Garmy. Garmy strong.
But yeah, we did. We got some iTunes reviews, and iTunes reviews are fantastic, folks. If you're listening on Apple, get on there, leave us a quick review. Prefer 5-star. If you got anything you want to say bad against us, email us.
Yeah, give us a 1-star. Put us in our place. Punish us,
please.
But we don't really want that because our egos are fragile. So please give us 5-star reviews. Please give us 5-star reviews. Please give us 5-star reviews.
We will send out stickers for 5-star reviews.
Yes, we will.
But you have to tell us who you are.
And, at the very least, a P.O. box.
Yeah.
Because,
But the first one I got was from Dark Knight 1939, which I actually found out after the fact was my buddy Jeff, the one who we fixed.
Oh, Tarbert.
Yeah, featured his He-Man collection in the He-Man episode.
Yeah.
But he said, very cool show. Look forward to reminiscing on our childhoods each week. Thanks for the maximum effort you put in each week to keep us entertained and informed.
Now, come on. If you're going to read it, if his handle on there is a Dark Knight, you got to do it the right way.
Oh, you guys look great podcast. Where is he?
Swear to me.
Oh my god.
And he actually asked me about his username too, and he's like, do you get it? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, Batman, yeah, I get the Dark Knight, I don't get the reference. Apparently 1939 is the first issue Detective Comics.
Yeah.
I couldn't piece the two together without Google.
You need to hang your head in shame, sir. You call yourself one of us.
I'm like an outcast of society here.
You know what? Just for that, I think I'm going to write Chris Hardwick a very long letter about your failure at life. Because you didn't know when Batman came out.
I deserve that.
You do.
I do. It makes me sad.
Okay. Yeah. We did get another one from somebody claiming to be the Mighty Clam. So whoever you are, thank you very much for the 5 stars. He said, what a sensational podcast. The dulcet tones of these two gentlemen filling my ear holes weekly with a hefty load of nostalgia has become one of my new favorite auditory pleasures. Ooh. I highly recommend it with several exclamation points at the end. And he titled it Ear Pleasures too, so
yeah.
That was sweet. So thank you, the Mighty Clam.
That was almost we might need to tag this as an adult content episode just from that.
You mean like the rest of them?
No, the rest of them are PG.
Yeah, right.
We're allowed 2 fucks, 1 shit, and a nipple.
Oh, they moved it up to 2 because PG-13 was always 1.
Well,
you always got 1 fuck.
I just watched the Once Upon a Deadpool where they rehashed Deadpool 2 as a PG-13.
Yeah.
And I swear that was what he said to Fred Savage at the beginning. Maybe it was 2 shits and 1 fuck.
That's what it is.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah. Is it any good as a PG? Does it play well as a PG-13, or do you just need the context?
No, it really does, because the filler with him and Fred Savage, I feel like makes up for what you lose in the R rating.
Okay.
Like there's a scene where Fred Savage mentions that Matt Damon's in the movie, and he's like, wait a minute, you got Matt Damon in this movie? He's like, I totally want to meet Matt Damon. And Deadpool has a buzzer to censor him every time you talk so they don't use the F-bomb too early.
Yeah.
And every time he keeps saying, I want to meet Matt Damon, he beeps it. And so it sounds like he's being a little inappropriate. It's hilarious. It goes on for like 2 straight minutes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Third and final review we got was from Jimbo, a.k.a. Joe Grizzly. Jimbo says, this podcast exceeded my expectations, so we've definitely went above and beyond there, apparently.
Either that or his expectations are so low.
I was trying to give us credit on that one.
Man.
Along with the great nostalgia factor, it is packed with hardcore info. The Kevin Smith movie references are a huge plus. I recommend this to everyone.
Please.
To you, Jumbo, I have to say thank you.
Salute. All right. So, do we scold the kids now about the Patreon, or...
I say we educate and inform.
I thought we were supposed to rule with fear.
I think we tried that in the last episode.
No, I thought we were nice the last episode.
You're right. We were scold away.
Yeah. No, go ahead, bad cop. You start. You do bad cop. I'll do worst cop.
You want to do worst cop? Okay.
Why not?
Well, we have a Patreon. Originally, you couldn't search for it because my ignorant ass turned it to an adult content, apparently. So once I finally got that taken care of, you can get on Patreon and actually search for the Maximum Effort Podcast. One of the things that we're going to post on there is part of this week's episode. We're going to do a movie review in real time of the movie we're reviewing this week.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
we'll do a part 2, but just for the people who actually, help us out, because I don't think you guys get this is a costly venture. It's more costly than we thought, and for 2 working stiffs who have, wives and lives and children's and
dogs.
I mean, the car needs gas to get to work.
That's right.
And to school. Do you know how much school books are? For college.
My wife went and got her bachelor's. I know exactly how much school books are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He ain't lying.
So you little piss ants, you dig down, you steal your mom's credit card. I don't care what you do. You give us $5 because we need it, because to keep the website running, hey, that costs money.
Yeah.
Software to edit all this stuff, hey, it costs money.
Hey,
the gear costs money. So basically, don't make us cry and beg.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna keep doing it.
We're gonna keep. Yeah, pretty much. We're gonna do this regardless because we just like doing it.
Yeah, basically, it helps us though.
It is. It does. It helps us.
So
and I think we're getting to the point where we kind of enjoy entertaining the 5 people who are doing it. So, but
I think it's more of a power trip for me. Like, I can actually get on iTunes and find myself. We have a fucking website.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We're on all of the platforms.
Right.
I can find myself anywhere.
It's like we have phenomenal cosmic power. Itty bitty recording space.
Yeah. The small microphone.
Yes.
And penis.
Yeah. Well played.
You know. But no, anything y'all can do to help.
Even
us.
just the iTunes reviews help.
Yeah, even that helps, because that kind of it gives us better position to jockey for, so people can find us.
That's right.
when they do the searches.
Hashtag like, hashtag comment, hashtag share.
Please share.
Yes.
Yes, we want to offend your friends as well.
Yeah, we need to let everyone know.
That's right. we need to bore everybody.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. That's our goal in life.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think speaking of boring, do you think we've bored them enough? Do you want to jump into the meat and potatoes this week?
The meat and potato? Yeah, we can jump into the meat and potatoes. Why not? So, for those of you who are going to watch this video, that was our EP, my illustrious wife, Mary Catherine, 2 weeks out of surgery, kicking ass and taking names.
Booyah.
Snapping necks and cashing checks.
That's great.
That's right. She swings the thud dick on the regular.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? I just got the...
You got the glare, didn't you?
I got the stank eye to boot.
That's fantastic.
Oh, my Lord. All right. So enough of the shenanigans.
Yeah, the tomfoolery's over.
The tomfoolery's over. As we've been putting out there on the intrawebs, this week we're covering back. We're going all the way back to 1984, the year of Big Brother, and which it's a book, kids. Go read. Go to a library for goodness sakes.
I'm sure there's an audiobook of it somewhere.
Audible. I mean, come on. She's taking pictures of me, and there's like Chinese food all over my desk. It's so great.
Man's got to eat.
Right? Right? But yeah, we're hopping in the Wayback Machine, and we are going all the way back to 1984, and we are covering a little sci-fi flick called The Last Starfighter. And, I mean, this... Dude, I mean... Nothing against Star Wars, but it's right up there with it in my book.
As far as the nostalgia factor goes, absolutely.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the hokey space opera thing, you know. We'll get into it.
Yeah.
So, for the uninitiated, as mentioned, it was a sci-fi flick, came out in 1984, and this thing was the brainchild of one. Find it here. Jonathan Beadle, I think. I didn't take the time to actually look it up this week. John K got more respect.
Yeah.
I'm saying John Beadle, and if we're doing it wrong, call us on it. The Maximum Effort Podcast at gmail.com.
Maybe it's like BA too.
Beetle.
Beetlebug.
Betul.
Beetleborg.
Bitty. I don't know. Anyway, Johnny B was working as a junior copywriter in New York ad agency. And because he had a lot of downtime, apparently, because junior copywriters apparently have a lot of time, and we didn't have smartphones, he started writing screenplays. And one particular day, he was on lunch break, meaning he was bored out of his mind, and he wandered into an arcade and saw this kid just, intently playing a video game. And he didn't say which one. He just said this kid was like locked in to this video game. And at the same time, he was reading a sort of backhanded political commentary based in the time of King Arthur, called The Once and Future King, which just outlines King Arthur's journey, where he's the kid that pulls the sword out of the stone, and all of a sudden he's the chosen one, and hilarity ensues, and Sir Lancelot and Arthur's main chick, they hook up and whatnot, and hilarity ensues. They run into the Knights Who Say Knee, and it's all downhill from there.
What is your name?
What is your quest?
What is your favorite color?
Green. No, blue.
Ah!
Oh, man. God, why couldn't that have been in the 80s?
I know, right?
God. Well, Patreon.
I love it.
For all the out-of-date stuff, Patreon.
There it is.
Patreon.com/The Maximum Effort Podcast. But Johnny B liked the idea of or he came up with this idea of what if a video game was the Sword and the Stone? It's like kid's good enough at a game and he's the chosen one and he's do that. So he writes a script.
Yeah.
A screenplay. And he takes it and Universal, I believe, picked it up. They read it. They thought it was really cool. And they hired a guy named Nick Castle to direct it. And early on, they kind of decided that... Because originally, in the first script, it was placed in suburbia. Meaning the video game would have been in a mall. It would have been like, the middle class, so to speak. And they didn't like that. So here we're going to go into just the premise.
Well, I guess they said it was a little overplayed.
Yeah, they said it was too derivative.
Yeah,
I believe was the word they used of all the other stuff, because you had Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and you had
E.T.
E.T. Yeah, all of these films that were just in these just nice urban suburbs with kids and bicycles in the neighborhood and trick or treating and all that and
Elliot.
Call the police. That would have made that movie 20 times better, wouldn't it?
Fuck yeah, it would have.
Okay, so here's where we get into just basically here's the movie in the next 30 minutes. Picture it. Mountain trailer park.
Sell it to me.
Call it the Starlight Starbright Trailer Park. Our protagonist, one Alex Rogan, is the elder child of a single mom, Mrs. Rogan. I don't think they went into her first name. If they did, I missed it in the film, which we can go over that in the commentary.
Yeah.
And his younger brother, Lewis. And when I say this is a broke down trailer park, this is a broke down trailer park.
We're like podunk.
I mean, we are talking podunk. And it's in the mountains. It's kind of middle of nowhere. It's got its own grocery store / convenience store / restaurant run by Otis. Who, Otis, later on, he's kind of the Yoda of the whole thing. Excuse me. General So's talking to me. You have Alex's girlfriend, Maggie, who is living with her grandmother at the trailer park. And all these other people. And Alex is kind of this... He's out of high school. He wants to get out of the trailer park. He's applying to college to go away to college. Get out the mountains.
Far away.
Stop hearing banjos. Go. Yeah, exactly. So, he is... On this particular day... He starts, the convenience store had a new video game delivered to them called Starfighter. And so, of course, they kept it outside because that's what you want to do with
high-end electronics, yeah.
Yeah, with high-end electronics for the day that costs several thousands of dollars. You want to keep it out in the elements as much as humanly possible. So he's starting to play the game. He's starting to get a feel for it. And, I mean... If you think about it, the game gives it away right there. You have been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Zur and the Kodan Armada. There's your plot line, kids.
Very well said.
Thank you. I've known that since I was 80, since I saw it, I think, in 86.
I could tell.
It's been a day or two. So he starts playing the game, and then his friends show up. They're all supposed to go to the lake that day. Of course, there's always one douchebag with a jacked-up pickup truck named Blake. Jake Blake. And, he's even got the Ooga horn.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, he's got the Ooga horn on the truck. And Alex, Maggie, Blake, all their buddies are supposed to go to the lake and hang out for the day and be, 18, 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Hang out, see bikinis, get drunk, yada yada. And apparently Elvira's power went out, and she's going to miss her soaps if she doesn't get her power back on. And since Alex is really kind of the only handy guy there aside from Otis, and apparently Otis needs help, Alex gets stuck fixing, and I quote, 30-year-old fuse panels and plunging people's toilets.
What a nice boy.
End quote. Yeah. So day turns into evening. Alex gets done with his chores and helping out the less fortunate of the bunch. And he's about to relax, and he's sitting there, and he hears a conversation going on outside his window that he's very badly mouthing verbatim to himself, which just kind of reaffirms just what kind of a rut he's in. So he cleans himself up, goes back up the hill to the grocery store, and begins playing the video game in a very pissed off state. Because that's what you want to do when you're angry.
Naturally.
And Otis has closed up shop, and he's putting stuff away, and he's trying to get to the bottom of why Alex is pissed off. And Alex is pissed off essentially because he doesn't get to have any fun. So Otis kind of tries to talk him off the ledge and says, you'll get your chance. When it comes, you got to grab on with both hands, hold on tight, in true, like, cool old black guy fashion.
Nice.
And Blake drops off Maggie while he's playing this game, and between Maggie and Otis and Alex, they begin to notice that Alex's score is getting pretty high. He's just whooping Kodan ass wholesale.
By God.
And they look, and he's at 900,000, just snapping necks, cashing checks, blowing the shit up, shooting them down. Shoot first, shoot again, shoot some more, and then ask questions, kind of thing.
That's what's up.
And so because it's the trailer park, Otis runs to the edge of the hill and yells out that Alex is going for the record, which nobody has a life in this Starlight Starbright trailer park because the whole neighborhood comes up.
That's awesome.
And proceeds to crowd Alex as he's just crushing
this is his
game.
moment.
This is his moment, yeah. Where's a shitty Eminem song when you need it? And so he goes through the game. He gets to the command ship, and shock of shocks, he blows it up. He stomps a mud hole in it, walks it dry, and he breaks the record on the Starfighter game.
And that's the bottom line.
Because Alex Rogan said so. And so
Cue the glass break.
Yeah, cue the glass break, cue people jumping and celebrating, and even the Bloodhound was howling. Cut to later that night, Alex and Maggie are sitting on the porch. They're sitting in the porch swing, and everybody's still talking about how he just crushed them Kodans to no end. Just went all Cactus Jack on him.
Bang, bang!
Bang.
And, man, I miss Cactus Jack.
Yeah.
God, poor Mick.
That.
Poor Mick. Now he's Santa Claus. Anyway, so they're hanging out, and they start making out, and Alex's mom shows up from a double at the diner that she works at, and just kind of lets him have his moment, because, spoiler alert, bad news is on the horizon. Alex walks into his mom. Oh, wait, before that, when Alex and Maggie are making out, Lewis, the little brother, he kind of pokes his head through the blinds. Mm-hmm. It just says, diarrhea. Which is ironic because this kid is like, what, 10?
Probably.
11? He's got a stack of Playboys for days.
Yeah, he does.
Because back in our day, we didn't have the internets.
No.
We had printed material.
We had the hard copies.
Yeah, we had to hunt for them, too.
Oh, yeah.
You had to look hard. No pun intended. And, so, yeah, he screams diarrhea. But Alex goes in, meets his mom, and informs her that he has brought peace to the world by breaking the Starfighter record. And Mrs. Rogan just looks, that's nice. That's nice.
That's nice, dear.
Now, remember, Alex is trying to go away to college. College costs money. Alex went to the bank to get a loan to go to college. Apparently, the guy from the bank went to the diner that day. Mrs. Rogan dealt with him, and he had brought the news to the diner. Alex got shot down.
Burn.
Alex don't get no money. And so to make it feel better, his mom goes, "You can still go to City College with your friends."
Oh, well.
Well, that just makes it better, doesn't it? So, in true teenage angst, he takes the letter, storms out, runs up the hill to where the sign is, wads up the letter of rejection, and throws it at the sign in a metaphor saying, "I hate life."
Naturally.
As he's standing there stewing in his anger and his hatred all by himself, the Starfighter game just begins to freak out all on its own. It's like Jam Master Jay's in there and he's doing the 20-minute remix or something and freaking out, bells and whistles, lights and just flashes and everything else. And then you hear a noise. And for the 80s, it's like the most pimp automobile in the world rolls up.
Oh, yeah, this thing was like Superfly.
This thing was Superfly on steroids, man. It's a 4-door sedan, slick as all get out, all 4 doors, gull wings, motorized gull wings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, solid hubcaps, really just narrowed down front nose. Back door opens up and you hear a voice. This just sounds like the ultimate con man going, "Excuse me, can you tell me the name of the guy who broke the record on that Starfighter game over there and where I might find him?" And Alex this is like the best delivery of a line. He's just like, "Alex Rogan, you're looking at him." I'm just so pissed off because he's so angry right now. And he's,
If he wasn't
it's not registering with him that there's some weirdo in a car that just is not on the market.
If he wasn't so angry at the time, it would have been a perfect mic drop moment.
It would have been.
Yeah.
It would have been. But, we didn't have mic drops in the 80s.
Because it would have been like, "Respect, son."
Yeah. What you gonna do about it?
Exactly.
You would go, bro? I respect you, bro.
Right?
It's on, bro.
What's up, bro?
And so the gentleman in the automobile lures Alex to the car and lures him into the car because apparently stranger danger wasn't a thing.
Nope. 80s.
In the trailer park,
Yeah.
that didn't exist apparently. And the old man who, he's wearing a wide-brimmed hat. He's got a bow tie on. He just looks like a shyster. Says that he's got an opportunity for Alex and introduces him to his associate named Beta, which that'll come into play in a little bit. They shake hands, sparks fly, literally. Beta gets out the car. Alex stays in the car. Door shuts because he says, "Yeah, sure, I'll go." So you find out that the man in the car is named Centauri. How's that for a name?
It's clever.
Yeah, it's all right. It does in a pinch, given that it's a space opera. And this car proceeds to take off at a high rate of speed. A very high rate of speed.
Which apparently what I read was actually filmed in time lapse because that thing was drudgingly slow in real life.
Yes, it was. It was the guy who created it, a guy named Gene Winfield. He built it, and it was a real working car. It had 0 horsepower to it, and you could tell. But in the movie, they drive by a cop car, and the cops are asleep in the car because they're doing speed checks or whatever, and their radar gun goes off. It says 303.
That's awesome.
So Centauri's booking it. Alex is trying to figure out what is going on. Tell me what's happening. What do you want? And Centauri's like, are you the kind of kid that reads the last page of a mystery first? do you go downstairs and take a sneak peek at your Christmas presents before Christmas? No, of course you're not. And then he goes, that's why I'm not gonna tell you. And just shuts Alex down, and they're driving along. They go into a tunnel. Tunnel's lopped off. Alex is freaking out. They're going to wreck. Centauri hits a couple buttons, throws a switch. That bitch is flying, yo. Flying, and not just flying in the sky. They're heading into space.
Up so they, away.
Oh yeah, way up and away. So they're flying along. And you find out that Centauri is an alien because he takes his face off mid-flight.
He takes his face off.
Like, literally off, and it's in a handkerchief. He pulls the fake eyes, and he, like, rubs them on his jacket, clean them off. And, I don't know, I guess they hit a wormhole or something from what it looked like from the visuals.
I think so.
And they come out the other side, and they fly into... this military base is built into the side of a mountain or whatever. Car flies in, lands. It's a car again, parks. Centauri gets out, leaves Alex in the car. Just walks off, doesn't listen to him, doesn't turn around, doesn't wait here, nothing. Just get out, go. Pimp move. Door opens very slowly on Alex's side, and he is greeted by a bald chick alien.
That's what everyone wants to see.
Pre-Rogaine, kids. And she's just speaking some language that he has no clue what it is. But he follows her, and he goes through this little tube with flashing lights and everything else. Comes out the other end, and he's handed a uniform. He's trying to figure out what's going on. Centauri's on the other end collecting money. And he goes, where are we? And Centauri goes, welcome to Rylos, my boy, which is the planet that's being attacked by Zur and the Kodan Armada. And so, Centauri wishes him well as he goes back through the tunnel and hopes that the 7 pillars of Hulu, the luck of the 7 pillars of Hulu be with him at all times. He goes back and is thrown into this assembly where he kind of sees what's going on. Then he sees all of these fighter ships that are called Gunstars, which is the ship that he was flying in the game that he just, now knows how to fly. So he's looking at this. He's just tripped out. He sits in this meeting where I don't know why the planet has an ambassador for their own planet.
I mean... Why not?
I didn't understand that. But he goes, he makes a speech, he rallies the troops, and in the midst of it, a defector from Rylos, who, can you guess the name?
I'm going to go ahead and say Kronos.
So close.
Oh, I was an A for effort.
So close. You get an A for effort. No, it's this huge hologram head of the defector Zur, who is helping the Kodan Armada. And a fun little snippet pulls up where he shows them that they found their master spy, and they proceed to melt his face off. Good times.
Very well played.
Yeah, and so they rally the troops. The big chant of victory or death goes through the building for a little while. And Alex, as he's trying to find his way around to find Centauri, runs into this brown iguana turtle-looking guy named Grig, which he plays in later. And Grig finds out that this kid is from Earth, which isn't a part of the Star League. And he's supposed to be a starfighter, and he doesn't want to be a starfighter. He just wants to go home.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, Trailer Park's looking pretty good right now. Just a little PBR and some Skinner, and you're good to go.
I mean, he doesn't have a sister to make out with, so I don't know what he's going to do when he gets back.
No, but he did have Maggie.
That's true.
Which, I mean, it's a trailer park, so they might have been related somewhere down the road. Anywho.
They's kissing cousins.
Yeah, no. Family that lays together.
There it is.
Yeah. So Greg, with this information, they find Centauri, and he drops the line based on that whole, like, you know, King Arthur subplot. Up to your old Excalibur tricks again, eh, Centauri? Centauri goes, no, it's a video game. And besides, he beat it. He has the gift. This may come as a bit of a shock to you, but he doesn't want to be a starfighter.
Mm-hmm.
Centauri loses his shit, and he's being harassed to give the money back. So I guess somebody placed a bet on this kid or something.
Must have.
I don't even know, but begrudgingly, Centauri takes Alex home. Alex gets home, tries to get in bed, finds somebody in bed with him. It's the beta unit, who now looks exactly like him. And they have this he has a conversation with himself.
Which,
about
props to him for the acting.
Yeah, he did look different on principle, because when he came back to shoot the beta footage, he had already had another role where he had to cut his hair really short. Mm-hmm. And so he was wearing a wig. He had been sick, so he dropped like 30 pounds. He looked a little rough, but you could tell it was him. And I don't eat. Bless you.
Thank you.
Got a little frog in the throat.
You know. So, real Alex goes outside to contact Centauri to get him back to come take his, and I quote, Tinker Toy back to outer space with him. And he's walking around, and he kind of smells something, and he's standing in front of the Starfighter game, which is freaking out again. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, it sounded like Centauri was standing there behind him. So he walks over there. His arm busts through the pergola on top of the video game, and an arm reaches down to grab him. And I know I skipped a part, but can't give them all. Can't give it all.
Got to make them watch it.
Yeah, exactly. So real Alex is running for his life, hiding on the other side with a board with some nails in it, because that's going to work. Yeah. And he sees on the top of a truck this alien, which looks like a cross between a hammerhead shark and Admiral Akbar. Just way pinker. Hey, boo. My Chinese, what's left of the Chinese is being taken away.
I'll be over in a minute to grab that.
No, you won't. We keep trying to get you to come down here. You won't do it.
I know.
Anywho, there's this hammerhead Admiral Akbar looking thing with 7 fingers and a laser gun shooting at Alex. And he doesn't know what's going on. Centauri pulls up, and Centauri somehow shoots the guy's arm off. The guy falls down onto the ground, -1 arm, and explains that this thing is called a Zandozan gunman, which is a bounty hunter hired by Zur to go and kill all the starfighters. And since Alex has been recognized as a starfighter, there you go. They're having this conversation, real Alex, beta Alex, and Centauri, and the Zandozan isn't quite dead yet. And so he's running the arm that got shut off was his shooting hand, and he's rocking it with his mind, and it just comes up, starts shooting at Alex. Centauri gets in front of it, takes the hit, takes just Secret Service style, and then proceeds to just shoot this thing into oblivion.
The only thing missing from that scene was a no no in slow-mo from Centauri.
That slow-mo dive in front of him. Yeah, that was really it. So wounded Centauri and Alex and Beta Alex, they all decide that Alex needs to go back and go fight the good fight, because otherwise it's just going to be more of the same until they kill him. And take over the Earth and enslave it or whatever. And so wounded Centauri and Alex fly back to Rylos. Now, while all this is going on, Zur and his Kodan friends in the command ship from the video game are at this thing called the Frontier, which is some sort of border that's been created to kind of keep the Kodan and everybody else out and keep all the good people in, which, talk about a message on segregation.
Basically.
But they've been working on the Frontier, trying to cut a hole into this thing, and they finally have a break in the Frontier. So they launch these meteorite bomb missile things at the command post on Rylos, and needless to say, the thing gets blown out of the water, and nobody really makes it. So Centauri gets back with Alex, and Greg meets them at the car, and Centauri has a great, and I quote, death scene.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oscar worthy.
Oh, yeah. And Greg takes Alex, kind of, I guess, brings him up to speed. Hey, everything's been blown up. They figured out how to get through, and they're going to they're gonna kill us all. So luckily, because otherwise we wouldn't have a story, Greg was working on his own Gunstar, a finger quote prototype during the attack. And this thing is in its own little launch tube. It's all neat and tidy and ready to go. Alex puts on the uniform, and Greg gets in the navigation seat. Alex goes up to the gunnery chair and realizes pretty quick, hey, this thing is just like the video game. Because, it was a scouting tool.
We need that kind of recruitment.
We do, because, how else are you going to find the one that's worthy to fly a spaceship and blow up aliens? Because America.
That's right.
Should have put a flag on the side of that Gunstar.
Damn right.
So Greg and Alex are getting acquainted with this brand shiny new Gunstar. Back on Earth, Beta Unit and is having problems with his interpersonal relationships, particularly those with Maggie. And actually just acting like a human in general.
Basically. More
or less. The kids go to Silver Lake, which is, I guess, the hangout spot to go camping, which is code for what you... Dude, that would have...
That was Crystal Lake, sorry.
That would have made it so much better, though.
That would have been like the best mashup movie ever.
Oh, I'd have bought 3 copies of the movie just for that.
Damn right.
But Beta Alex has no idea how to make out, how to do anything, and since nobody knows that Alex has gone back, they think he's still on Earth. So they keep sending Zando-Zans to come and kill this guy, and eventually Beta spills the beans to Maggie that, hey, I'm a robot.
I'm not him.
And in perfect timing, Zando-Zan shoots Beta Alex in the stomach, and he's just spurting green predator-looking goo onto Maggie. He's like, see, told you. So the Zando-Zan figures out that Beta ain't real Alex, and he's heading back to his ship to report back that, hey, it's a fake. There's still one out there. Spoiler alert, fake Alex sacrifices himself and Blake's truck, thank God, and blows up the Zandozan ship before he can finish his transmission. So Zur and the Kodans think that he's dead. And they invoke the title, The Last Starfighter. And they decide that the transmission was he's dead. And he's not. In the midst of all this, Alex has to come to grips with the fact that he's got to kill people. Like there's a scene where they run into a ship, a Zurian ship, and Greg lets him know that this is your first live target. And so they chase him down into the cave, into this meteor, and Alex is forced to blow this guy up. Mm-hmm. He's forced to throw the hammer down, and he's none too happy about it. None too happy about it. So essentially, Greg's like, all right, I'll take you home. You're a whiny puss. We'll just take you home. Whatever.
Yep.
And in the midst of that, they kind of figure they become friends. It's a love story between a man and his lizard.
He was her lobster.
His. Because, Greg has his wife and his 6,000 little Griglings.
Right.
In case you forgot. And in the midst of sharing stories of how they grew up, they decide that Alex comes up with this brilliant plan to let the Armada fly over them while they hide in the meteor, take out the command turret, or the communication turret on the command center, and basically sneak attack them with one ship from behind.
Nice.
They hide in the cave, and
then they hide in the cave.
And then they hide in the cave, and just like clockwork, the Armada, the squadrons of fighters, the command ship, they all fly overhead. They get out of range, and they decide to go ahead and attack it, because America. And
that's what we do, blow shit up.
That's right. We shoot first and ask questions third.
Hell yeah.
So they knock out the communications turret, and they just start blowing up the Armada. They just start shooting them one ship at a time. I never quite figured out why, but for some reason they run out of power.
Yeah, it doesn't
in the midst of the fight, and it didn't make any sense. But he can't shoot anything. They're out of torpedoes. They're out of photon beams, particle beams, or whatever. I'm trying to remember there was photon torpedoes, particle beams, and the lasers, because lasers. Yes, exactly.
And the whole time Greg is sitting there with like a 56K modem that's set up to be the main board of the movie.
Oh, this is 84, man. It was a 26.
Yeah, how dare I?
This is a 26.6, man. Come on.
Just trying to plug the wire into it.
Yeah. Oh, no. That comes later, though, because first they run out of power. But Greg, in all of his infinite wisdom, has decided to modify this particular Gunstar with a thing called Death Blossom.
Mm-hmm.
Which is basically these 4 things on the Gunstar that open up to reveal just an arsenal of weaponry. They run out of power. The only thing they got left is that. Alex hits the button, and this thing just starts spinning like a gyroscope and blows everything up. Everything. And how nobody threw up in the ship is beyond me. Because this thing was moving in all directions.
Maybe they had those captain's chairs and it just locked them in place, and the ship spun around them.
Well, no, because there's that one shot where even Alex, the gunnery chair, is spinning independent of itself while the ship is spinning.
That's true.
It's spinning within a spinning within a spinning, and they take care of the rest of the Armada. Now comes the part where Greg pulls out the 26K modem, because the command ship is flying over them, and they need power because all they got left is life support and I don't know, self-service or something. I
Yeah.
don't remember what the other thing was. They had no propulsion or anything like that. So he pulls out the modem. He pulls a couple wires, hooks it in. It starts to go, wee, wee, wee. Hey, he's got power. The jets kick back on. They scrape some paint and decide to just start laying into the command ship. Spoiler alert, they win.
Yeah, and that's a great scene with the main protagonist standing on like the bridge, and he's asking for a damage report, and they're like, every system is offline.
Yeah. Commander Krill and I forget the other guy's name. Hang on. Yeah, it was just Commander Krill and then the other guy. They didn't even mention the other guy's name. It was so great where he's like, navigation systems are out. We're caught in the moon's gravitational pull. What do we do? And Commander Krill, he has this motorized eyepiece that just clicks onto his face and he goes, "We die." And I'm like, dude, you're the bad guy in all this, but that's the ballsiest fucking line I've ever heard in my life. It was so good. And they crash into the moon that they're stuck on in the gravitational pull. They go get celebrated on what's left of Rylos. And again, spoiler alert, Centauri ain't dead. He comes back and informs Alex that he kind of needs to stick around and train the next batch. And because I'm old and I forgot. Before the command ship goes down, Zur, who has been labeled a traitor by the Kodans, is taken away to be executed later. He escapes, which kind of left a door open for a sequel. So good was the film that they, Universal and Lorimar kind of figured they'd probably be able to bank on another one. The main bad guy gets away.
Who thunk it?
Who'd have thunk it? It's Dr. Evil taking off in the big boy again. So, Alex goes back to the trailer park in a Gunstar, which, if you're going to arrive somewhere, may as well arrive in style, right? Comes down, long story short, everybody's like, what is going on? What is going on? Well, here's Greg. He's a genuine alien. I flew this thing. I just blew up a bunch of shit, and I'm here for your granddaughter, Granny. I'm here for Maggie, and Maggie throughout this whole thing has been completely terrified to leave the trailer park,
basically.
And Granny's like, "Go! Are you stupid? Go!" So Alex wait. Elevator comes back down. They fly off into the moonset, as it were. Credits.
And scene,
yeah. Now, if we lost you anywhere, go ahead and gripe at us at our email address, themaximumeffortpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll just redirect you somewhere.
That's the great thing about technology nowadays. They got that little 30-second skip back button.
Yeah, they do.
If you forgot something, just go back and listen again.
Just go on back. So, into the fun little bits and pieces of this. Alex Rogan. Well, first off, the film was made for a budget of $15 million. Mm-hmm. Made $15 million, made $28 million in North America. Which, they got their money back, but I guess that just wasn't enough for people.
Did about $6 million opening weekend, I think, was the total number.
Something like that. The total was 28. So
the opening weekend number.
Opening weekend. I think you're right. I think it was somewhere around 6.
Yeah,
5 or 6. I don't remember for sure. But the big thing about this, the big coup of this whole film was the fact that this was probably the second feature film next to Tron that did all of its special effects in a computer. Yes, this was the first round of legit CGI. And when you watch it, you can tell it's not cartoon animation. And it's not practicals, and it's not models like Star Wars did, and all the guys at ILM. So the effects were done by a company called Digital Productions. And Digital Productions had shelled out $15 million for a Cray XMP supercomputer, which this thing for the time was swinging the big D.
It was Watson for its time.
Oh, this was Watson before it was Watson. They needed this computer because of the amount of polygons that it used and the amount of 36-bit pixels that it could generate. It could do 250,000 polygons at 3,000 by 5,000 pixels.
My TV in my living room now has 10 times that processing power.
Oh, yeah. The
Which
TV in our living room, in our bedroom. Dude, our phone has more processing than that.
Basically.
Okay. And initially, when they had the Cray computer, they put up a mock-up for Dennis Murin and the boys at ILM in 78, I think. And they had done this little snippet where they programmed X-Wing fighters, and they were flying. A couple of them did loop-de-loops out of frame, back into frame, flew at the camera, away from the camera. And, I mean, the actual special effects guy, Dennis from Star Wars, he was like, dude, this is amazing. Why aren't we doing this? And they didn't do it. They did the all of the tracking stuff with the cameras and the models instead.
Yeah.
So, or it might have been in 77 before they released it. I'll have to go back and double check, but I'm pretty sure it was 77. So how that didn't happen, I don't know. But the Cray supercomputer, it was in the shape of a big C for the company. It had a bench around it, and I remember the way that they did it was they actually hired a guy named Ron Cobb, and he drew actual physical blueprint schematics for the Gunstar, for the command ship, for all this stuff. And they had this little thing that would take snapshots of the blueprints, feed it into the computer, and then it would render it into existence, essentially, based on the dimensions. Now, granted, there were some people they had to they were in charge of building the meteors or the little pods that made up the frontier or whatever. But for the most part, the ships and everything were legit drawn in blueprint.
I mean, that's pretty solid.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's not like they skimped. This is like legit blueprint paper. Like, they are schematics in real life dimensions. And so they would snap the pictures with this like weird looking. It looks like if you've ever seen those plastic camping compasses, it kind of looks like one of those.
Gotcha.
But with like a mouse cable coming out of it. The actors and actresses in this thing, I mean, it wasn't a smash hit, so a lot of them didn't do much. The guy who played Alex Rogan, a guy named Lance Guest, he played Sheriff Brody's grown-up kid Michael in Jaws: The Revenge. He was in an episode in season 2 of House.
Gotcha.
He played a dad. The episode was called Safe. I found out he was in the Wonder Years.
No shit.
He was in an episode of the Wonder Years. Is like, I think I forget the character's name. I'd have to look. I don't remember. A character named Mike Detweiler.
That name sounds familiar.
In an episode called Politics as Usual. So if you get bored, you want to check that out, go for it. But I mean, he's been in a bunch of stuff. It's just you've never seen him.
Yeah.
Like he was in an episode of Jag. He was in an episode of Jericho for the 3 people who watched that. He's just in a bunch of little stuff. Maggie, Alex's girlfriend, was played by Catherine Mary Stewart, and probably the only other thing people are going to recognize her from is Jonathan Silverman's girlfriend, Gwen, from Weekend at Bernie's.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Now, granted, she did a couple episodes of. Did you ever see the show The Outer Limits?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in a couple episodes of that. I don't remember what.
Okay.
The little brother, Lewis, tying into episode 5, I think. Was Airwolf episode 5?
6.
6. He was in an episode of Airwolf.
Really?
In season 3, episode 8, called Annie Oakley, he played a character called Rex. And he was in an episode of Murder, She Wrote. I mean, if you get to hang with Jessica Fletcher, I guess your career is pretty much over at that point. Which is true, because now he teaches high school in Orange Beach.
What a clever guy.
Right. Fun little tidbit. Will Wheaton.
Yeah.
And Wesley Crusher. He had a role in the film.
Sheldon's nemesis.
Yes, Sheldon's arch nemesis. He was Lewis's friend in the film, but those scenes got cut for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't know if it was time constraints or what, but
it was. I think they were just trimming fat.
Yeah.
At that point, it didn't make any sense to have him. But Will Wheaton was shot in it. He just never made it.
Yeah, which is weird, because if you go on IMDb, Will Wheaton is credited with being in that movie.
Yeah, he is credited.
Yeah, because he was paid and everything.
Yeah, they shot it. It was just, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
A lot of people died post this movie, like shortly after this movie. Robert Preston, who played Centauri, who was like the big. I mean, he's like big. He did a whole bunch of old movies in like the 40s and 50s and through, and he did a bunch of Broadway stuff. This was actually his last film.
R.I.P.
And he died from lung cancer. Diane O'Harley, who played Grigg, who was originally from Ireland. Again, he was one of those Oscar winner types. He passed on. Otis, the guy who runs the convenience store with the bloodhound that you see at the opening shot, that's and so cleverly just rolls off, just sticks the landing. He died in 87 after this thing. Granny's dead. They're all dead.
That's depressing.
It is depressing. So, now I will say this, and I looked a couple of things first. First, in 2004, an off-Broadway musical of The Last Starfighter opened in New York City.
New York City?
New York City! Yeah, and it's I think it's still running. I didn't see where it was shut down or anything yet.
So that's like off Broadway, probably.
It only listed one off, so I don't know. But the big sort of how can I put this tactfully, cock tease, if you will. April 2018, writer Gary Whitta, who he wrote the Book of Eli, and he helped with the story for Rogue One.
Okay.
He didn't write it; he just kind of helped with it, and then they kind of parted ways. In April of last year, he put out a couple of tweets on the Tweetyverse showing concept art for a Starfighter sequel. And he hinted on Twitter that the guy who originally wrote it, Johnny B, would be involved in it. And he was quoted in a Gizmodo article that it would be, quote, a combination of a reboot and sequel that honors the legacy of the original film while passing the torch to a new generation, end quote. And that was really kind of the last we've heard of that to this point.
I feel like they would really have to sell the original to back it being a sequel.
Which, I mean, they probably could. I mean, it's not like the worst movie in the world, you know. It's 77% on Rotten Tomatoes, which ain't bad.
No, for Rotten Tomatoes, that's solid.
You know, Ebert gave it like 2.5 stars, just middle of the road space opera stuff. Yeah. You know, I mean,
worth watching.
It was thin, but I mean, for the day, it was the effects.
Right.
The whole computer animation thing that sold it.
Very Tron-esque.
Yeah. Only it was realistically, if you think about it, this was the first one that did it where it didn't look like it was within the constraints of a computer.
Right.
Because, I mean, you look at Tron, it looks like a video game. It looks
But it
like
was
programmed.
intended to.
Right. It's supposed to look like the inside of a computer, whereas this was legit, hey, it's a spaceship. It's it's people flying a spaceship, because you pause a frame where you see the cockpit of the Gunstar. You can see two people in there.
Yeah.
They had to do that. So, yeah. Now, whether that's still a thing or not, I don't know. I haven't heard anything since, because I was looking on Widow's feed, and it was mostly about his comic book.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple other things here and there, but I haven't seen anything since those tweets in April. So we're coming up on a year now, so whether or not it's actually going to be a thing or not, I don't know.
Right.
I mean, with the cult following that it has for the nerds like me, you, whoever else is listening to this thing who actually watched it, you have a market. Because we're all still alive, because we were all kids, and we all grew up with that whole Star Wars, Star Trek, whatever thing, and this was a very good independent thing. And not for nothing, but if I'm going into battle, I would probably pick a Gunstar over an X-Wing fighter. Not for nothing.
Especially just for the ultimate weapon.
Just for the ultimate weapon, man. Then I get to wear the Ultimate Warrior face paint and put the armbands on and beat my chest as I kill things.
Come running down the ramp at full speed to go run.
Oh yeah. You watch me put that Gunstar at full bore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember the first time I saw this. It was in 86 or 87. I watched it on Betamax, dude.
Wow.
My uncle had recorded it off of, I think, HBO or Showtime.
That's awesome.
In 86, and I watched it on beta for the first time, and I was like,
right.
Making the O face and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I remember I had, we might have to cover this one day. There was do you ever remember a building block set called Constructs?
Yeah.
Long gray logs and short gray logs with the blue nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Or the blue connectors and everything, and some of them were orange and they were hinged and they were jointed, and they had spinning wheels with actual rubber wheels you'd put on the hub, and I had that, and I would mercilessly sit and try to build a Gunstar with that thing.
That's awesome.
with those things, and it always came close, but I never figured out all of the angles, which I'd love to have a chance to redo that to try. And you got to remember, for $28 million, no toys, no merchandise, no stuffed animals, no posters, no nothing. Just here's a commercial of people you don't know flying a spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
Go see the movie. So, I mean, I'm hoping there's a sequel coming, but
yeah, I think it would be received well if it was done right.
Oh yeah, because I mean, most of us have childrens now,
mm-hmm.
and if we haven't already shown them the original, because I mean, it's a kid movie.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's a great sci-fi movie. I agree with a lot of it. The plot's kind of thin.
Very thin.
Aside from, where the hell's June? Which I a t-shirt and a sticker and a shout out for anybody who can tell me which part of the movie that comes from. Email us, themaximumeffortpodcast@gmail.com. You tell us where that line comes from. T-shirt.
Hook it up.
Hooking them up big. Because, we like the obscure products. We don't go for the low-hanging fruit here.
No, we want the extreme.
We want hardcore. So, that's about, I mean, that was really about all I had, short of Wesley Crusher.
Yeah.
I didn't know what all digging you did, or there was Atari game that was supposed to come out called The Last Starfighter, but it didn't come out and actually got called, what was it, Space Attack or something like that?
I think, yeah.
Which was one of the first things that I had looked up, and I don't know why the hell I didn't write it down. But there was supposed to be a video game version of it. Somewhere I saw, I think it was on Witta's Twitter, that he saw like a full size arcade game of it, of Starfighter, like it was in the movie, and it had like the hand controls and everything, and it looked, I mean, I want to crack at it.
I'd play it.
I got quarters. I got
Stack 'em
quarters
up
for days.
I got next.
Yeah. Like those jerks who put their quarters on the edge of the pool tables, like, I got next. No, you don't. I'm still here.
That's right. Back up.
Oh, your muscles are bigger than mine. Okay.
I'll walk away now.
You win. You win. But, yeah. Oh, yeah. Alex Rogan, he was in Halloween, too.
Yeah, that's right.
He got to see Jamie Lee
Yeah.
in her prime.
I was going to say, the only thing I really had was Dan O'Hurley. Most people probably know him from RoboCop as the old man from OCP.
Yes. I forgot to put that in my notes, but I saw that and I was like, I need to do that. Put that in. Yeah, I saw that. He was in both of them.
1 and 2, yeah.
Yeah. Which now I have to go back and watch that and see if I can find him, because I'm racking my brain trying to remember the old man, and I just
yeah.
blank.
He's like the head of OCP, or he works for OCP, and but he's like a suit and tie guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, did he have a lot of lines in the movie, or was it?
He had a couple of speaking lines, not a substantial amount, but
Okay. All right. Well, fair enough.
not enough that he was given a name, apparently. But
Yeah, apparently you don't get your name in print. It's not. Doesn't matter.
just the old man.
Yeah, just the old man. Just whatever.
But yeah, everything I had in my notes, you pretty much touched on.
Okay. All right. So, if we missed anything, let us know. Reach out to us on the socials, or email us. Hit the back 30-second button to find it again. I'm not going to say it.
Fact check us.
Yeah, fact check us. Hashtag fact check us. Which, I mean, I was reading the Wikipedia thing on the movie, and I was reading the plot synopsis of it. I'm like, that's not what happened.
That's awesome. Did you correct it?
I need to, because they were saying, he received a scholarship. They screwed up, and they're like, they didn't put the part where they were at Silver Lake. He's just like, they were at the trailer park when the beta unit rats everything out to Maggie. It's just, yeah. And it's Commander Krill, not Lord Krill, you morons. Show some respect.
IMDb has him tagged as Lord Krill as well.
Really?
Yeah, Lord Krill.
So why do they keep calling him Commander Krill?
Couldn't tell you.
Although I will say this, Zor's scepter was pretty pimp.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it was, he was making up for something.
Yeah.
He was overcompensating, especially with that little blade that popped out.
You know?
But, yeah, it's that's about it, man. That's about all I got.
So here's the plan, kids. Like we were talking earlier on the Patreon, Dave and I are going to sit down and we're going to actually watch the movie from beginning to end and watch it together and color commentary it, basically.
Yeah, we're going to MST3K the bitch. Just all the way through. And I mean, we'll probably throw some of these little factoids that we covered here in as we go along. But yeah, it's probably just us sitting here eating and yelling at the screen like immature people do.
Now, unfortunately, for licensing rights, we can't throw the movie up on Patreon or any video framing from it. But what we're going to do is we'll let you know exactly when to hit play on the movie so you can sit down and watch it with us.
Yeah.
So when we say, oh, that guy, or oh, this scene, you'll know what we're talking about.
Yeah, you should be within like maybe a second or two, depending on when you actually hit the start button. But we're going to do our best to sync it up and make sure. So it might take a couple of tries, but once we get it down, we're gonna put that episode up on the Patreons. So if you want to hear that, head on down to patreon.com/the Maximum Effort Podcast and throw us a bone, and you get access to that stuff.
Yes, sir.
So, just saying. Have you even given any thought to what you want to do next week?
No, I think I like keeping it a mystery and building it up slowly through the week.
Okay, so we'll absolutely not do Transformers next week. Okay, right on.
I'm keeping that on the back burner for a while.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I know why. I know why. Yeah. You're not going to get to know why.
No.
Friendly listener, but I know why.
I will give everybody a hint that we are going to do something 80s or 90s themed for the next episode.
What?
Yeah, I thought we'd jump back then.
Are you sure?
I promise.
I mean, does that fall in line with what we're doing? Oh.
If you could take one thing to the grave,
yeah,
it's that next week the theme will be an 80s or 90s themed.
Yeah. And yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And like we mentioned at the beginning, we're videoing our motions and our actions and everything. So
this week's episode is sponsored by Ohio State Athletics and Pizza Hut.
And Auburn University and Under Armour.
University.
Because, I have to... I married into it, folks.
Yeah.
I married into it. Adam knows I bleed scarlet and gray, but...
He's a Buckeye at heart. I can forgive it.
OH.
I-O, baby.
That's right. Naysayers be damned.
There it is.
Do you think how high do you think Haskins is going to go in the draft?
Second at least.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, well, I don't know, man. Like, they made a good point. Somebody made a good point. I was watching at ESPN, and Kyler Murray isn't even going to, throw at the combine, and Haskins is. I'm like, that should pump him to the top of the list, because if you're going to, just wimp out like that.
Right.
Come on, man.
Give him a taste.
Yeah, don't just automatically bank on I'm the number one overall draft. Even though people are stupid, they'll give him the number one overall draft.
Yeah, he thinks he's swinging that big D and don't have to do nothing.
I'd take Haskins.
Yeah, you know what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is. But that's neither here nor there. We don't hate anybody except for Bryce Harper.
No love there.
No love there. $300 million for what?
A smile.
To play something that we all play for free?
Yep.
I mean, if you want to solve the economic crisis, just tax all the 1%ers half their salary for the year for 5 years. Problem solved.
Yep.
Or just see if Apple will make a donation of half of their $1 trillion worth of liquid assets.
Or get Amazon to pay some taxes.
Oh,
I went there.
Oh, he went there. Sick burn.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That's great.
I thought so.
Yeah. Oh.
All right, kids. Well, look, we got nothing but love and respect for all of you. We appreciate you sitting through this with us this week.
Yeah, we appreciate you hanging with us and downloading us every week and telling your friends, which if you're not doing it, do it. And we love y'all for it. So we thank you from the bottom of our hearts, from the subcockles of our hearts.
Way down below the cockles.
In the subcockle area.
Yeah, maybe in the liver, maybe even in the kidney. We don't know. But hopefully you can tune in next week, same bat time, same bat channel. For everyone that needs to know, this is Adam.
And I'm Dave.
And Dave just threw a whole bunch of maximum effort at you kids.
All over your face, neck, and chest.
There it is.
There it is. Good night, kids.
Bye-bye.